What's up, my fellow nationals of the United States, state citizens, all the people born and free in the territorial United States of America versus the statutory U.S. corporation? We're going to talk a little bit about the IRS. Now remember, there's the Internal Revenue Bureau, which is the federal government. And then there is the Internal Revenue Service, hence the last part of its name. What is that? What? Service. Some people have said it's headquartered in Puerto Rico. I wouldn't know. Never been down there. If I went down to Puerto Rico, I might not come back. Here it's kind of nice down there, especially with the ladies. But don't drink the water. No, I don't know. I've never drank the water. No, I don't know. I think that's Mexico. All right. So, what is this particular video about? A couple of IRS secrets that they don't want you to know. All right. So, don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe. You guys know the jazz by now. Thank you. We're almost at 50,000. I told you, once we get to 50, I'm going to stop bugging you guys. Hopefully I'm not bugging you guys. Hopefully you're finding the information entertaining and useful in your business, commercial, maritime jurisdiction, events, Equitas and Veritas, Boondock Saints, Equitas, equality, Veritas, truth, Latin. No, I don't speak it, but I do understand some words. All right, though I do speak about 4 other languages. So, let's talk about the IRS. All right, what do we got here? IRS audits can be resolved swiftly, or rather quickly. The best way to end an IRS audit with a great outcome is to end it as fast as it begins. So, all right, let's see here. Got a commercial popping up in my little music feed. Nobody wants to hear that? Sorry, one moment. All right. Let's see here. So I never get anything done. I get emails and text messages all day. Everybody asking me, "Hey Wolf, what's number 7? Hey Wolf, hey Wolf." Like, don't you guys know like Friday, Saturday, Sunday are like family time and days, and late at night, early in the morning? How about only contact me if you do have my info during business hours? Unless it's an email, that's whenever. I get those all day, so that's nothing new. All right. So, one thing you should know is that the IRS cuts deals. Yes, they want your money. Money, 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 money. Money. All right. So, contacting them and asking them. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I do not practice law. This is not advice. This is just information provided to you guys, educational, informational purposes only, from non-belligerent, non-combatant, national of the United States of America, diplomat of Levitica, treaty with the United States, private individual, natural private person. Okay? Okay. So, for those people who want a consultation, you can let me know what you have in mind, and I can tell you if I know about it and I can possibly help. We do have some tips, tricks, and techniques that have worked in the past, but it does not hurt to contact a licensed, trained CPA, somebody specializing in IRS, liens, and whatever else. Okay? So I would start there first. But like I said, we have done some things. Obviously, I don't charge nearly as what they do, but they are professionals licensed in it. So their licensed opinion is the best way to go. I would only be able to point you in some general directions, and you would have to do the rest of the footwork. So they do. Okay, so the IRS does cut deals to get you back into the system as a taxpayer and bring you current, and of course collect a few bucks on what's owed. So in the fine print, they require that you file your tax return on time and pay your taxes for the next 5 years. If you don't, then they may revoke the deal and bill you back to the original amount. So you can contact them and ask them, hey, what type of remedy, payment plan options do you have available? All right. The IRS usually will win against the average person 80% of the time, because the average person 80% of the time doesn't try and doesn't fight. All right. You can also look up what's known as the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which allows you to be represented by a qualified practitioner who can answer your questions, or you can look up the rights yourself and go at it for yourself. Many people don't realize that the IRS charges penalties up to 25%, which sounds to me higher than most credit cards, and that should be illegal in all actuality. 25% of the balance that you owe just for filing your tax return late. So that's right. You'll get hit with an additional 25% if you owe that and you don't file by the deadline, which is also one of the good reasons why you should be filing for an extension. IRS penalties can also be reduced to zero if you have a reasonable cause. Nearly anything can be looked at as a reasonable cause. Medical reasons, bad accountant, ignorance of the tax laws, ex-spouse, care for a loved one, military call-ups, fires, floods, alcoholism, drug abuse, death, or even waiting to hear back from the IRS for advice. All of these can reduce, or any of those and more, can reduce your penalties to zero. Okay? So the biggest thing here, the biggest takeaway is understanding that they can negotiate. You have a right to ask them for remedy and what all options are available to pay off this debt. We've talked about numerous forms on other videos. We've talked about you can contact them and ask for payments, payment plan. All right, so these are some good options. All right, you can, and I'll throw this freebie out there. You can also look up, well, let's just say this. You can look up IRS Form 668. And let's just say that if they're trying to do a lien, it has to be done correctly. and that there can be imperfections, such as that if it's not signed correctly by somebody with the authority and the jurisdiction, has to be supported by an affidavit, does not certify that it is a lien, but a notice, then it can be defeated. All right. So, like I said, I am not an expert. There's just some things that we've learned over the years in the private. Hence why we don't talk about everything in the private on the public channels. People are always like, oh, throw everything out there, Wolf. Throw it all out. Give it all. Give us what you got, baby. Well, that's not good business for anybody, except for the person who would be getting the information and then not even thinking or whatever else. Well, then you need to do your own research. Let's just be honest. But what I mean by it's not good business is it means that the IRS is a business, and if you are in it and you are a willing participant, as you probably are, because it is optional if you know what your rights and freedoms are, and depending on your standing or status, then you are to be compensating them for the privilege of utilizing their public transmitting utilities. So that's it, guys. Just a little bit of information on things the IRS doesn't want you to know. Not a terribly long video, but an informative one. And for those who seek consultations under those requirements and understandings, as I overstand, then feel free to hit blacksite32.com and we can talk about some stuff. All things talked about in the private are considered entertainment, education, private information, private use, and you will use them as you see fit. So, hope that gives you guys a little bit of an idea of what the going zones is. We'll talk to you guys later.